rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Headlines spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I meant to explain to everybody today's going to be probably a little bit different. We were watching last night. I had a wonderful character on last night. Happy Yamaha biker. We're hanging out. Good people. And we don't have them. What that was a bird is a baby peacock. That's what that is. Natalie. That's what that was. Good morning to you, Natalie Baker, Ingrid Medlock, Shadow Gray Wolf. Yeah, the little bird is a peacock chick. That is what that is. Pretty cool, huh? That's before it gets all of its plumes happening. Those are pretty damn cute, aren't they? Hello, fly on the wall. Good to see you. Good morning, Mickey D. Yeah, today we're breaking a little bit away from the normal of our mornings, just because tonight is going to be something entirely different. I've got something else that I'm going to be covering. And today, as I felt it was pretty important. Yeah, you do have peacocks in Australia, Baker. Yeah, you do have peacocks there. We're going to be pulling up the this one particular trial that in Kentucky, there was a sheriff that nobody could understand the reason why they did this. Just walked in and unloaded a couple of rounds into a judge, or 8 to be specific, and then went out and turned himself in. And this is, as they're gathering information, it sounds like that. The sheriff's name is Shawn Stines. Sounds like there was a little bit of sex play that was happening. This is what claims. I have not seen this yet. Don't know how disturbing this is going to be. So just sit back, buckle up, and as far as the daily news goes, we're just, like I said, we're going to shift a little bit away from it. We normally do. And I hope that you're fine with that. If you're not, it's okay. I don't normally do this in the mornings, but like I said, there's something else I'm covering tonight. And this is, I thought, was pretty important to see. So buckle in, strap up, and let's do this. Like I said, I haven't seen this, so I don't know all the details of this. But from what I understand, this is allegations in this are pretty damn disturbing. So as soon as we get to it, well, and I don't know how long this is, but I do want to. So this is, I believe, the sheriff of that place, and this would be Stines that's coming in. That's a big old boy right there. It doesn't seem like he's fighting or arguing or doing anything. So he's it looks like he's possibly wearing a bulletproof vest, and that makes him look even larger than what he is. But if what he says is true, good morning from Ohio. Good morning, Mary. Good morning. Here for coffee. Good morning. Yeah, coffee will be good. Sip away. Like I said, this is not normal what I would do in the mornings. So if you were looking for something a little bit different this morning, this is probably going to be a little more solemn, not as happy and as fun, but I think it's pretty important if what I heard last night was true. So I'm trying to be somewhat serious, but if I start cracking jokes, there's probably a reason why. So this here is only an hour. It won't be the whole thing of this. Oh, just nothing going on right now. Turn on the closed captioning, so if there's anything we miss, we can pick it up from that. Yeah, it looks like he's just waiting on the judge. Yeah,
I've been
nothing.
with KSP.
Here we go.
Commonwealth.
All right, here it comes. Ooh, good morning, Ty. T, good to see you. Good morning, Sandra Robinson. Yes. Good morning from Ohio. Hey, oh, let's go, Ohio. All right.
Seated. I'm going to call the case of Commonwealth versus Shawn Stines, 24F147, on for preliminary hearing. Is the Commonwealth ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, call your first witness.
Commonwealth's Clayton Stanford.
All right, click. Mr. Stamper, if you would. Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
I may speed this up a little bit.
Clayton Stanford,
And how you spell your name?
ClaytonStamper.
You go to court, how you employed?
I'm sorry.
How are you employed?
I'm a detective with the Kentucky State Police assigned to Post 13 Hazard.
How long have you been employed in that capacity?
I've been with KSP a little over 24 years, detective since 2006.
And have you, in the performance of duties as detective police, have you investigated the death of Kevin Mullins?
Yes, sir, I did.
And can you tell us on what date that was?
It was September 19th, 2024.
In investigation of that death, were you able to determine who killed Kevin Mullins?
Yes.
Morning,
And how many?
Marblehead, Ohio. Good
Video
to see you,
surveillance
Sharon.
footage.
And did you retrieve that video surveillance footage?
I did.
You're at this time, the company who play video footage. All right. All right, Jake.
Now, if they start to show the video footage, I may pull it off screen. From what I understand, it will show death. So I'm just giving you guys the heads up. And 33 in chat, 18 thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Sharon. I appreciate it. How's the fishing up there in Marblehead, Ohio? Sandra's in Ohio also.
Yes, approach the bench.
Yeah, the Pomory, Ohio. Oh, nice. Excellent. Excellent. Don't know these places, but if you're in Ohio, I bet you do. We'll see if they actually play the video. Like I said, I haven't seen this one yet, so this one's pretty new to me. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Guess we'll find out here shortly. And this is just oh, thank you, Sandra. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Cincinnati, Ohio. Good to see you, Mimi. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, this will be interesting to see. They may not show the video because of it being disturbing, but this is for the preliminary hearing. This is not the trial in itself. He does remain innocent until proven guilty. And if I'm not mistaken, he did plead a not guilty in here. Bishop there. Oh, nice. I've heard of Marblehead. Yeah, the Purge. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens here. Bringing it back. Okay.
You ready to proceed?
Come for it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. About to see if this shows anything. If it does. Okay. Sorry. Yes, I stopped it before it happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I did have to remove that walleye. Yes, so I did remove that. So there was nothing shown on the TV or on your screen. You didn't see it, but it clearly shows it shows him pulling the trigger multiple times, and there was sounded like possibly some family members that were weeping in the background. It was not pretty. Let's put it that way. Okay. Whew.
Video. And will you ever identify the parties we saw in that video?
That was Sheriff Mickey Stines and Judge Kevin Mullins.
And also, who had the firearm?
Sheriff Stines.
And then Judge was also in his black robe.
Yes.
Do you know what portion of the courthouse that is?
That is the judge's chambers
And where's that located at, physically located?
in the Letcher County Courthouse.
Amson.
That's all I have on.
Would you like to cross-examine?
Thank you, Marcy. I appreciate you.
It was a short clip that was played there. How long do you believe that clip was?
That we just watched?
Yes, sir.
Just 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Just 15 seconds. In fact, the video that was taken in the judge's chambers between the meeting between Sheriff Stines and Judge Mullins, it's my understanding that video lasted much longer, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to review the video
I have.
of the prior incident?
I have.
And can you describe for us what happened immediately prior to the clip that we saw?
Sheriff Stines uses his telephone to make some phone calls. He then borrows Judge Mullins' cell phone and appears to make a call on that. And that led to what you just saw.
Okay. So it's my understanding.
So this is how heartbreaking for the family to have to watch that. I agree, but pay close attention, because I believe that what led up to this, and he's explaining this, is there was a This was recorded in the judge's chambers. There was a conversation leading up to this. Hey, how you doing? And from what I understand, the underage daughter of Sheriff Stines has been reported as 17-year-olds. And Judge Mullins was 54 years old. So, from what I understand, is that phone call that he was making was to his daughter, and the judge called from his. Suddenly, my eyes are open. I rise, for there has been Shizzy's quake felt upon the earth. Yes, it is. This is probably a disturbing one. Like I said, the pew pewing was not. I did pull that down, so nobody got that. Thankfully, because that could have got me in trouble for showing or condoning something which I don't need to be showing on here. All right, let's continue on with this.
There were some people who were having a meeting with Judge Mullins prior to the sheriff's entry into the chambers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you identified those witnesses?
I don't know the names of them. There's about approximately 4 people in there. Then Sheriff Stines enters the judge's chambers, and everybody else clears out.
You don't know their names?
Not right off.
Morning, no.
Have you prepared a report?
In the process, yes.
You're in the process of preparing a report?
Yes, a lot of information.
But you've not spoken to any of those witnesses?
I've not directly, but they've all been interviewed. There's recorded interviews of those people in the case.
Okay, so other officers have spoken with those 4 witnesses?
Yes.
And what is your understanding of what those 4 witnesses have said?
I don't recall.
You have no idea what they said?
No.
What? Damn. You don't recall what those
I want to make sure I understand. Had there been a hearing previously this day in chambers?
In the courtroom?
No, in chambers.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And so there's a video camera that is running in the district judge's chambers. Is that on all the time?
It's my understanding, yes.
Have you spoken with anyone about why that may be?
No. I mean, there's cameras throughout the courthouse.
Well, fair enough, but are you familiar with district judges' chambers normally, how they're set up?
No. I mean, some of them have video surveillance and some don't.
Right, but
this one does.
generally when they have surveillance, you agree with me that
Good morning, Shane.
that is
Good morning.
utilized when there is a proceeding going on in chambers, correct?
It could be, yes.
Okay. And I'm just asking, so this video didn't have an audio recording to it, correct?
No, there's no audio.
Outside of once the 4 people that were inside that we don't know their names, once these 4 people had left the chambers, were they in an area adjacent where they could hear anything that was going on?
Yes, I believe some of them did remain in the next room.
Okay. And what did they tell us?
Do I?
What did they hear?
I've not been part. I wasn't part of those interviews.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, you're prepared for a
Excellent. Thank you, Shane. It
murder.
was
There are
good.
witnesses in an adjacent
Good.
room.
I mean, they heard
Can I
gunshots.
put my question, please? Thank you, Austin. So you are investigating a murder and testifying in a preliminary hearing, and there are witnesses who may have overheard what preceded this edited clip, yet you can't tell us today anything that they said?
I've not personally listened to those interviews. I've talked to the other officers that did those interviews.
Fair enough. I mean, we're here at preliminary hearings. You know that you can testify to hearsay. I'm asking you what they said.
They heard gunshots.
Okay. Was there any statements that they overheard?
No.
Were there raised voices?
There one person stated that she didn't recognize him as being Judge Mullins' voice, but heard somebody say, "Help, help."
Presumably that would be after the firearm was drawn or shot.
Objection, Your Honor.
I would draw, Judge.
Withdraw.
Yeah, you
So
can't do that.
is there any testimony that you can give us today about any statements or arguments or the content of that argument prior to the shooting?
No.
I want to ask generally, so did you process the scene?
Hey, Lexi.
Are you the lead investigator on this case?
I am.
Okay, so as a lead investigator, I would presume that you would have secured the chambers and evidence once you arrived.
I was part of that, yes.
You were part of it, right? But you're the lead investigator, so you'd be in charge of those duties and delegating what should be done. Is that fair?
No, I don't delegate what's done.
Okay, so you're the lead investigator. What does that mean?
I'm the case officer.
Okay, so you're carrying the case. So I want to make sure I understand. Had Judge Mullins been removed from chambers when you arrived?
No,
Were you able to ascertain, did he have a firearm on his person?
we did not locate one.
You did not locate one?
No, there's not one in the chambers.
Okay. And there was none on his person?
No.
Okay. All right. Who was the first person to arrive on behalf of law enforcement to investigate?
Oh, the Sheriff Stines?
Already in the courthouse.
Fair enough, but I'm talking about in terms of
The
people
first
we may
one to
see or
arrive.
from or take part in this investigation. Who would be the first person?
I believe Trooper Jason Bates was the first KSP personnel on scene.
And you spoke with him, and
I did.
he searched and did not locate a firearm.
No, he didn't search the scene. No,
You
his
just-
role his role at that point was security of the scene.
I understand, but I'm just trying to ask
Oh,
you.
thank
considering
you.
that there was a firearm found. I'm
No,
wanting to know, can you tell us, was it specifically searched for a firearm?
in the judge's chambers,
Yes, sir.
there was
Well, Mimi, he does have to be very, very careful of what he says, because it's hearsay. Two, there's a possibility that he doesn't know what was said, because somebody else told him what was said, and he has no way of independently verifying it. He's pretty smart for saying, I'm sure I'm not going to answer that question. So no, that's completely proper of him saying that he doesn't know what was said, and this can cause problems later on down the road, as far as rumors are. Well, aren't we using fancy words early this morning? Good to see you. Good days, Dad.
myself, Detective Chris Collins, Detective Scott Caldwell, Detective Eric Caldwell. That's all I recall right now.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand. So who searched specifically for a firearm?
We all did.
And that was specifically something you looked for?
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay. Of course, your investigation, did you ascertain that prior in the day there had been a lunch meeting between Sheriff Stines and Judge Mullins?
There was.
Pardon?
There was.
Sorry, I couldn't hear your response. I wasn't being trite. So where did this take place?
It's a restaurant called Streetside, and it's just down the street from the courthouse.
Okay. And it's my understanding there were a couple of other people who attended the luncheon.
There were several, yes.
Okay. And at some point after that, they wrapped up lunch and left, obviously, and went back to the courthouse. Are you aware of anything so far in your investigation that would tell us there was any issues at lunch between Judge
No,
Mullins and Sheriff Stines?
no,
That someone on behalf of the KSP has spoken to those witnesses?
yes, they've all been interviewed.
And there was nothing unusual that had arisen during that luncheon?
I was told that the judge made a statement to Mickey about, do we need to meet private in my chambers? That's all I was told.
Do you know the context of
I do
what
not.
the conversation was before that they would need to discuss in chambers?
I do not.
So it's my understanding that in the larger portion of the video that we haven't had access to, that there is a point when Sheriff Stines asked for to see the telephone of Judge Mullins.
Oh, sorry to hear that,
Yes.
Sir Frank.
Is that a yes?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. And I would presume that you and the other officers you mentioned when you secured the scene that you secured those phones as well. Is that correct?
yes.
And have you reviewed both of those phones?
They're currently at the forensic lab at this time being downloaded. I have had discussions with the people at the lab regarding the downloads.
And those are a couple of other questions I was going to ask you, but my original question was, have you reviewed or are you aware of the content of the phones?
I've not personally seen it because I've not received those reports yet.
Okay, again, based upon your conversations with the officers, are you aware of any recent content that was up and could have been relevant at the time of their discussion?
I was told that Sheriff Stines had tried to call his daughter, and he had tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone also.
So, have you obtained the phone records from Judge Mullins' phone?
I don't have those in my possession yet, no.
Have you issued a search warrant for them?
Yes.
Okay. And have officers confirmed that the sheriff's daughter's phone number was on Judge Mullins' phone?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes.
So that number had been called from Judge Mullins' phone?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Man.
So we don't have a viewing of what.
Yes, that
transpired
is.
during
It
that
is,
exchange
Frank.
of phones. But based upon your review of those moments prior to, when Sheriff Stines observes that cell phone, was he previously seated?
Yes.
Okay, so in the clip we saw him standing the entire time.
He was seated in front of the judge's desk.
And he looks at the cell phone. What is it? Can you describe his reaction in the video?
It goes to trial.
Whose reaction?
Well, the sheriff.
You can't see his face in the video.
Okay. But is it clear that, does it appear to you that, let me rephrase this. Did he stand up after
Yes.
looking at the phone?
He stood up.
And how long after he looked at the cell phone and stood up did this occur that you played?
Just seconds.
Did you make the decision as on edits today for what you were going to present? In terms of, did you make the edit or determine
No,
which portion of the video we were going to see today?
No, sir, I did not.
Both cell phones have been sent to the Kentucky State Police forensic
Yes.
team. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hey, Debbie.
Have you gotten
Good
any
to see
early
you.
report on what was found?
No.
Were both phones still on the desk when you arrived?
The judge's phone was on the desk. Sheriff Stein's phone was on his person.
Okay, so are there photographs of, was the phone locked at that point or was it still open?
With both of you asking about both of them, or?
Well, first let's talk about, that's fair. First, I'm talking about Judge Mullins, since it was the one that was still on the desk and presumably nobody touched it prior to you securing it, correct?
No.
So, yeah, so I would like to know about that. Have you ascertained what was currently open on that cell phone?
No, I don't know at this point, no.
You don't know?
No.
Do you think that would be, important to learn?
I hope to learn that when the report's ready, yes.
But as of today, you can't tell us
No.
what was currently open on the judge's phone.
No, sir.
Yes, this is
Did you conduct an interview with Sheriff Stein's daughter?
I did not, but she has been interviewed.
Are you
oh man.
aware of who was present when she was interviewed?
Lieutenant Randy Combs and Detective Anthony Trotter.
She was interviewed with or without her parent?
With,
So her parent was present at the time you interviewed her?
yes, I believe. I wasn't there, but yes, I think so.
Law enforcement has not spoken to her without her parent present.
Not that I'm aware of.
Did the Kentucky State Police obtain her phone?
No.
You intend to obtain records for her cell phone number?
Possibly, yes.
Do you believe that will be soon that you'll do that?
Could be, yes.
Had you already intended to do that, or did you just respond to my question?
Well, the call should be on the judge's records too.
Well, I understand.
And she's made statements about what occurred during those conversations.
I understand that, but I would presume that, have you ascertained whether Judge Mullins also had apps that stand outside all phone records?
I've not received those records yet. I don't know what's on the
Well,
phone.
fair enough, but I mean, did you look at the phone? Did it appear there were apps on it?
I'm not the person that's qualified to look through the phone.
Okay, but you're familiar
Hard
with
answer.
cell phones. They can host other forms of communication. Yes, sir.
What's the objection?
He's been asking, he's asked the question about 4 or 5 different ways. The officer, the detective repeatedly said he does not have a report with phones. He's not looked at the phone. He can't testify that matter.
I'll let him ask the question, and he can only testify what he has personal knowledge about.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Thank you.
Right.
So you're aware that phones can be used for apps such as Facebook.
Yes,
Okay. And that is not something that is captured by cell phone records. You agree with me?
I agree.
So in light of
See, how you
that,
doing?
although
Hey,
the
Roxanne.
records may be mutually the same, right? The same between Judge Mullins' phone and the sheriff's daughter.
Here's the thing, Natalie. For something so violent, there must be a reason. That's what we're finding out today. There is a reason why this happened. From what has been spoken of, the initial investigation, it completely seemed unapparent why a man would walk into a judge's chambers, a sheriff, and these two were close. I mean, they knew each other really well, and probably spent time. Hell, could have even been fishing, from anything to fishing, or just him being in the judge's chambers often. There was a lot of speculation as far as whether he was having that there was something that he disagreed with the judge on early on in this, and there was no information because the sheriff's department was doing an investigation on him, or the state police was doing an investigation on Stein, trying to get to the bottom of this. And you don't want to disrupt that investigation. During this hearing, they're alluding that there's something that might be happening between Sheriff Stein's daughter and the judge that would be inappropriate for a minor. Let's put it that way. So like I said, this isn't very long, but we're going to get through it. It's
Do you believe that you could also
You'll be fine.
ascertain other information from the cell phone app content?
Are you asking what apps are on the phone?
Yes. Well, that was my original question.
I don't know
thought you might
I've not received that report yet. I don't know what apps he had downloaded on the phone.
know. If he has social media apps, do you intend to?
That could lead to additional search warrants, yes.
If you would also please let me finish before you move forward, and I'll try to slow down a little bit as well. Okay.
Sure.
Picture. Have you determined whether there were any previous issues, personal or professional, between Sheriff Stines and Judge Mullins?
I've heard things.
What have you heard?
Yep.
Just that this regarding the lawsuit that the Letcher County Sheriff's Office is currently involved with.
The lawsuit that involved ultimately a criminal conviction of a deputy for sexual behavior in the judge's chambers. Is that the one you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay. And the subject matter of that lawsuit, the chambers area, that's the same chambers in which this occurred. Is that correct?
I'm not familiar with the details of that case that the lawsuit resulted from.
Okay. Are you aware of any criminal reports that Sheriff Stines had made of Judge Mullins prior to this day?
No.
Has to
Did
be
you
a woman
personally observe
involved.
Sheriff
Yes, it
Stines,
is.
Following this video?
Did that person observe him what?
Did you meet with him? Did you talk to him after?
He was in custody when I arrived at the courthouse that afternoon.
And at some point, did you draw any observation about his demeanor?
He was mostly calm, I thought. I mean, I talked to him, but he didn't say nothing about why this had happened. But he was calm. He was kind of afraid that basically all he said was, treat me fair. That's basically the comments he made.
Okay. Did he also make a statement about, I didn't see it in the citation here, but somewhere along the line I saw
Hey, Magic Archangel, how you doing?
a statement being attributed to him about protecting his family?
I wasn't present, but when he was taken into custody, I was told by one of the other officers that were there that he made the comment, they're trying to kidnap my wife and kid.
Now, have you ascertained any evidence that this shooting was pre-planned?
No, not at this time.
And would you agree that from what we've seen so far, from the evidence you've seen so far, the shooting was a reaction to what was on that cell phone in that moment? Is that accurate?
Yes, Your Honor. All speculation outside the scope of expertise.
Sure, I believe that if he has formed an opinion about the investigation up to this point, especially at a preliminary hearing, we can speculate on that.
Or sustain.
Sure. So, is there anything other than the content of the phone that this video will reveal to us about why this took place?
No,
Does it appear that this took place as a reaction to what was happening in the chambers at that point?
I can say it occurred after a phone call was made. I don't know what was said or nothing like that. But
So, fair enough, and I'm not asking you the content of any of that, but at this point, is it your
Morning, Tammy.
theory
See
that
you.
whatever that content was in the discussion was the impetus of the shooting?
could be, but I don't know that for a fact.
Okay. Do you have any evidence up until this point that you have developed that would demonstrate that it was not as a reaction to what was on the phone?
No,
None whatsoever?
no.
If I had just one moment to confer.
Man, and they're asking some pretty solid questions here. Preliminary inquiry is just trying to lay down a little bit of foundation of who, what, why, when, where. Oh man. They'll have probably a couple more questions for this guy, and they'll prosecutor will have something to say.
Did you attempt to speak to Sheriff Stines at the Leslie County Jail after the incident?
No,
Did anyone from your agency attempt to interview him?
not to my knowledge, no.
And at that point, had he
Exactly,
asserted his right to an attorney or anything?
No,
And nobody went back to try to talk to him or do an interview?
no.
Yeah, if he asked for his attorney.
I think I have one other question. In addition to cell phones that we discussed, the cell phone of Sheriff Stines and the cell phone.
Morning. How are you doing?
Were there
I'll be
additional
truckling.
phones that you were able to obtain?
There was one other phone that's currently being examined, and the basic reason it was seized was there was a text conversation between Sheriff Stines and some of his employees with the sheriff's office.
Okay, and that was an additional phone of Sheriff Stines.
It was a phone of, I guess she's the, I don't know what her title is, but she's employed. She's not sworn. She's employed by the Letcher County Sheriff's Office. And she voluntarily gave her phone to the person that interviewed her.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, what could you explain why that was relevant or germane to your investigation?
I didn't conduct
I'm
that
doing
interview,
good,
but
yes.
it was,
Good to see you, Amos
I guess
girl.
it was regarding the dinner at Streetside and things that led up to the shooting. But I don't have those results either, so I don't know exactly what was said.
Oh, way to avoid.
I thought when we discussed that earlier that you indicated there was no evidence that the conversations at the lunch.
I haven't seen those conversations yet. I've not received the downloads from the phone.
Right, but I asked you if you're aware of any information that could have been gleaned from witnesses at that
Oh, get to feeling better,
meeting. And
Debbie.
as I recall, you
Please.
said no, but there is some information that something was discussed at this lunch. Is that correct?
I don't know what was discussed at lunch.
I understand, but you obtained this lady that we don't know her name. You obtained her phone in an effort
Good morning, Mimi.
based on a belief that she would be able to demonstrate what was said at
Good
lunch.
morning to all you late
So you
comers.
would agree with me, you believe that there is a witness or information that may have popped up at lunch.
There's a recorded interview with her in the case, and I'm yet to receive the downloads of the phone, so I don't know what they contain.
Okay, has that phone been sent to the forensic examination as well?
Yes.
Thank you. Also, that's all I have. Thank you.
Reread. But, has Judge Mullins, he sent to medical examiner's office, autopsy.
He was.
Have you received that report yet?
No.
Have you had an informal conversation
Nice.
regarding his cause of death?
Yes.
And what was that?
Good
Multiple gunshot
stuff.
wounds.
Stuff, Sandra.
Um,
Love it.
the video we showed earlier, that a true and accurate clip copy of what you received?
Yes.
Hopefully, the interview comes in the 1 year old.
Any objection?
Right, I'd ask, of course, all we saw today was the clip, but I asked it to be admitted in its entirety.
You want to respond to that?
Good job. I don't think preliminary hearing is required for probable cause. This is actually probable cause. I think the entire clip is outside the purview of the these proceedings today.
Yeah, I think if you want to see the whole video.
Yeah, I think that you know, that what he's saying is he wants, because all they were showing was this particular clip of the pew pewing, which I didn't show. So, you know, YouTube fight me on that. I didn't do it. I didn't show it. Pulled it down before that could be shown. There was a pew pewing, and there was something that led up to this prior, where he came into the judge's chambers. There was talk on the phone back and forth. He tried to call somebody, then he took the judge's phone, tried to call somebody, and then that's whenever he set the phone down and commenced the opening up the wireless hole punch on the judge, and that right there is what led to all of this in the first place. So I would suspect that the judge is going to say, yeah, we should probably have the whole thing in context, especially if he testified to it.
Video should have objected earlier. I'll admit the short clip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that isn't short anymore.
Only the short clip.
And Detective, is this an ongoing investigation?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And as this ongoing investigation proceeds, you will be also interviewing more people if necessary, submitting more evidence to the lab.
Yeah, we know that he did.
That's all I got.
Recross.
All his.
Any other witnesses for the Commonwealth?
No,
All right, you may sit down. Any witnesses for
Okay.
the defendant? I'll find probable cause and bind this case over the grand jury. Anything else? Anything else before we turn court?
There's no, we're not allowed to sum up, Judge, what.
Oh, if you want to make an argument, sure.
It sounds like I may change your mind,
It
Judge.
is a probable cause hearing, so, but yes,
I understand.
take your best shot.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, so, murder under the air statute, as the court knows, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but if there is an issue as to extreme emotional disturbance, then there has to be some evidence that would rebut that. And specifically, when I asked the witness today if there was any evidence to rebut that this occurred as a direct result in the moment of this observation, they have none. And I give it's just probable cause, but I think they've established probable cause for manslaughter first, but not murder. Because I've heard nothing that indicates that this is not, an example of an extreme emotional disturbance relative to the founder.
That's why he was.
Respectfully, I understand the court.
That's why he was being so cagey about his answers. That's why the officer was being very, very, not answering certain questions as the lead investigator. Little bastard.
Court's previous ruling, but I did want to address that with
No, that's fine. Let the
Thank you, Your Honor.
Commonwealth respond.
Thank you. Our criminal motion determines as a defense. There's not been a defense presented here to this court today. The evidence presented to this court today is that the judge was intentionally shot and killed multiple times by the sheriff, and there's probable cause to the grand jury murder charge.
Yeah, I agree. There's probable cause to proceed as murder. All right. Anything else before we adjourn court today?
Your Honor,
Hard to fight
in
it.
terms of, we'd like to discuss, if we could, lodging from here where he's transported. Is it the court's intention to have him take it? And I don't want to discuss that potentially publicly, Your Honor.
I'm not sure I can help you on that.
Yes, Your Honor. So,
I mean, you're welcome to stay at court and discuss that. I'm not sure I can tell the.
yes, Your Honor. So the transport order that was entered that will direct Sheriff Stines to go back to where he came from, Judge, is that fair?
Let's adjourn court and we'll talk about that.
Yes, sir.
I don't know that I can change where he's going to be at.
I'm sorry, yes, sir.
We can discuss it. All right.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Court's adjourned.
Yes, sir.
And that is that. So, what have we learned today, kids? What have we learned today? We learned don't go after underage girls. If that is the case, we don't have proof of this yet, but all roads are pointing to is the we don't know enough yet. We don't know enough yet, and anything more than that would be guessing. But from what we can tell is there was something between the judge and the sheriff's daughter. Don't know what it was. We can only guess at this point until you hear it either from somebody's mouth, which I have yet to hear that coming out of somebody's mouth, and of course they're going to beat around the bush on these kinds of things. Again, this was just a preliminary inquiry. This is this still has to go in front of a grand jury. This case, this particular case could go on for quite some time. So don't be in too much of a rush to judgment or anything. Lead investigator is super fishy. No, this you have to remember this is just a preliminary inquiry. He's doing exactly what anybody in his position should be doing until he's brought forward and has to testify on exactly what's what exactly is going on. And there's certain things that if he doesn't know, it would be pointless for him to say anything. This will also keep him in custody. That could also be a good thing for the sheriff if the sheriff decides that he wanted to do something horrible to himself. I would hope that he wouldn't. But this is you're right, Elka. Wait for all the facts to come in. Like I said, anything beyond that, we can only guess at what happened. That there will be more of this that comes out over the next years. This, like I said, do not be in a rush for this to happen. But this was the first part of it, a preliminary inquiry. It was a pretty big story because of that. Because it made no sense. And hopefully this puts a little bit of this into perspective of why there may have been some sort of deleting. Yeah, some of his answers, my phone cut off half your responses. I understand, but it'll get there. It'll get there. We'll cover the more of this as it comes around. It was, like I said, this was something that needed to be covered this morning. And I did want to break away a little bit from it and talk about it. And just know that, the hearts and wishes and prayers go out to not only the judge's family, but to the sheriff's family, because something like this can be devastating to the families that may not that have nothing to do with what's going on with any of this. So just keep them in your hearts and prayers, and again, we're not judging. We can only guess what exactly happened. So as we know more, we'll cover more. But for the time being, we're going to keep that one just a little bit under the table. Until we can get more on this information. Crazy stuff. All right, I've got a couple more stories that we will talk about. But I doubt seriously if they will get a conviction if he acted to protect his daughter. I don't know. Like I said, we would have to know all of the situation, and depends on how hard they push. No details yet at this time. Yeah. We're still early on, and they're still early on in this investigation. Hell, they could turn up that they were doing drugs. I don't know. Like I said, we'll find out more, but I don't have any more information than that. And I'm not going to play true crime and try to guess at all of the situations. I've heard multiple things about this. Everywhere from that the daughter was 15. I've heard that she's 16. I heard that she's 17. I've heard all of those. So what the truth is, the judge was in his 50s, what I understand. Yeah, I think that's correct. But like I said, that is 57. But like I said, we're early on in this investigation, and we'll just have to. From what I understand, there was another lawsuit that was going on with a sheriff or a deputy. So we'll find out more as time goes. Just sort of chill on that, and keep the dangerous rhetoric down, because there's not enough information. The thing is they still have to bring it in front of the grand jury. They'll probably use that video from that, and not what happened before. And as you will find out, going forward, a grand jury, the defense does not have the opportunity to say anything. It ends up being just the prosecutor. They bring forward the evidence, then the grand jury can ask some questions, and then they will move them on to being, the trial. These things take time, and there will be lots of pleadings in the meantime. And there's always a possibility that once he's indicted by the grand jury, that he works out a plea deal. So it's still too early on for us to be able to determine what the way that this is going to go. So if he's guilty of a crime, yes, there's a video of him doing it. What caused it? Who knows? There you go. Way to sum up me being an idiot. Way to sum up for me being an idiot. All right. So let's get on with the news, and there's a few things we'll be going over today. This one right here is prosecutors lay out new evidence in Trump election case, accuse him of having resorted to crime. Donald Trump laid the groundwork to try to overturn the 2022 election, even before he lost, knowingly pushing false claims of voter fraud and resorted to crimes in his failed bid to cling to power, according to a Fort filing unsealed Wednesday that offers new evidence in this landmark criminal case. Okay. The filing from special counsel Jack Smith's team offers the most comprehensive view to date of what prosecutors intend to prove if the case charging Trump with conspiring to overturn the election reaches trial. Although months-long congressional investigation and the indictment itself had chronicled in stark detail Trump's efforts to undo the election. The filing cites previously unknown accounts offered by Trump's closest aides to paint a portrait of an increasingly desperate president who, while loose in his grip on the White House, used deceit to target every stage of the electoral process. Funny. See, there you go. Kevin R. Mullins was 54. Date of birth was June 25th, 70. So he was younger than me. Plea deal? Good. You never know. You never know, Jack Black. There could be a plea deal. Absolutely. Over there on the Rumble side. Good to see you. No, they just won't give up. They are scared shitless of him returning. Yeah, it's funny. They just can't give it up. Trump with conspiring to overturn the election reaches trial, although a months-long congressional investigation and the indictment itself have chronicled in stark detail Trump's efforts to undo the election, citing files previously unknown accounts. So what? The filing quotes Trump as telling an aide after being advised that his vice president, Mike Pence, had been rushed to secure location after the crowd of violent Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol to try to prevent the counting of electoral votes. Ooh. The details don't matter, Trump said when told by an advisor that a lawyer who was mounting his legal challenges won't be able to prove this false allegation in court, the filing states. The brief was made public over the Trump legal team's objections to the final month of a closely contested presidential race in which Democrats have sought to make Trump's refusal to accept the election results 4 years ago central to their claims that he is unfit for office. The issue flared as recently as Tuesday night's VP debate, when Tim Walz got his ass hammered to the wall by J.D. Vance. In this corner, a Democrat lamented the violence at the Capitol, while his opponent, J.D. Vance, refused to directly answer whether Trump had lost the 2020 race. Well, yeah, sort of avoided the question because that there's legal proceedings going on, so he doesn't have to answer a question if he doesn't want to. Wild how that works, isn't it? Oh, the filing was submitted under seal, following the Supreme Court's opinion that conferred broad immunity on former president for official acts as they take in office, a decision that narrowed the scope of the prosecution and eliminated the possibility of a trial before next month's election. The purpose of the brief is to persuade U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Kanak that the offenses charged in the indictment were undertaken in Trump's private rather than presidential capacity and can therefore remain part of the case as it moves forward. Chicktan permitted the redacted version to be made public, even though Trump's lawyers argued that it was unfair to unseal it so close to the election. Which is true. Though the prospects of the trial are uncertain, particularly if Trump wins the presidency and a new attorney general seeks the dismissal of the case, the brief nonetheless functions as a roadmap for the testimony and evidence prosecutors would elicit before a jury. Is now up to Chicktan to decide which of Trump's acts are official conduct for which Trump is immune from prosecution and which are, in the words of Smith's team, private crimes on which the case can proceed. Ooh. Although the defendant was the incumbent president during the charged conspiracies, his scheme was fundamentally oppressive. One, Smith's team wrote, adding, when the defendant lost the 2020 presidential election, he resorted to crimes to stay in office. Crimes, I tell you, not just any crime, but crimes. Trump campaign spokesman Stephen Chung called the brief falsehood-ridden and unconstitutional, and repeated often stated allegations that Smith and Democrats are hell-bent on weaponizing the Justice Department. In a separate post on his Truth Social platform, the case would end with his complete victory. The filing alleges that Trump laid the groundwork for rejecting the election results before the contest was over. He laid it all out. It was a grand plan. Oh my. Rejecting the election results before the contest was over, telling advisors that in the event he held an early lead, he would declare victory before the ballots were counted and any winner was projected. Oh, I don't want to donate, JP. Thank you, though. Immediately after the election, prosecutors say his advisors sought to chow down on chaos in the counting of votes. In one instance, a campaign employee described as a Trump co-conspirator was told that results favoring Democrat Joe Biden at a Michigan polling center appeared accurate. The person is alleged to have replied, "Find a reason it isn't and give me options to file litigation." You should see the husband drive when he goes from stick to auto. Oh my God. I hear Trump when I hear wow, 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 wow. I like the Peanuts comment. Is there some corner of the planet I can hide out until this election is over? I can't stand either candidate. This is just ridiculous. Oh my God. Oh. It does happen. In demonstrating his apparent indifference of the inaccuracy of the election fraud claims, prosecutors also cite an account of the White House staffer who, after the election, overheard Trump telling his wife, daughter, son-in-law, and Marine One, "It doesn't matter if you won or lost the election. We'll still have to fight like hell." So this is all that they're talking about: steady stream of disinformation, and of course, they're going to try to say everything that he did wrong. And we do have the unsealed government immunity motion that we will be covering at a later point in time as it gets a little bit closer to it. There's so much more. talk about today. So much more. Zach, busy, good, bad, morning, supreme leader of the universe, Zach. Oh, he has his right side doesn't know what to do. That's true. That is very true. Okay, this is going to be very interesting one also, as this comes to light. The doctor who helped supply Matthew Perry ketamine pleads guilty to the drug charge. Oh boy. San Diego doctor became the third person to plead guilty in the case of Matthew Perry's fatal drug overdose as prosecutors collect properties in an attempt to convict two bigger targets they say are responsible for the death of the Friends star. Dr. Mark Chavez, 54, entered the plea Wednesday to a felony count of conspiring to distribute the surgical anesthetic ketamine in federal court in Los Angeles after reaching a plea agreement with prosecutors in July. Chavez agreed to cooperate as the U.S. Attorney's Office pursues more serious charges against Dr. Salvador Placencia. Oh, Placencia. Looks like Placencia. Woo! Sorry about that. Who prosecutors gave ketamine directly to Perry. The other major target in the investigation was Jasmine Shanghai, an alleged dealer who prosecutors say was known as the ketamine queen of Los Angeles and supplied the doses that killed Perry last year. Ooh. Chavez stood in court with his lawyer and answered dozens of questions from Judge Cheryl Peace Garnett. He agreed to give up his right to trial and other rights. Wow. He listened to prosecutors as they read through every instance of him meeting with Placencia between San Diego and Los Angeles to hand off ketamine he got using fraudulent prescriptions. In all, he admitted to supplying 22 5-millimeter vials of ketamine and 9 ketamine lozenges. Man. Chavez cleared his throat when prosecutor described Perry's death. Are you pleading guilty because you did things the prosecutor described? Garnett asked Chavez. Yes, Your Honor, he said. Chavez remains free on bond until April 2nd sentencing. He turned over his passport and agreed to surrender his medical license, among other conditions. To get rid of that thing. Yeah, this is pretty damning. With what he's charged with, and no, he just took it. He took it. This is how a good trial should be handled. If you're guilty of something, to stand up and take your punishment. Especially you don't want something like this dragging out through the court system, costing courts thousands and thousands of dollars. Knowing that you can probably plead out, and he still hopefully will never be practicing medicine anymore. That his license will be removed. But that he also does prison time. Judge told me she is not bound by an agreement or recommendation. Sorry. And can still sentence him to full 10 years allowed by law, but he's likely to be sentenced to far less time because of the plea and his cooperation with prosecutors. Yes. His lawyer, Matthew Benninger, spoke only briefly to reporters outside the courthouse. Mark entered a plea of guilty and is now public record. Benninger said, "You accept responsibility when you set sentencing." Also working with federal prosecutors are Perry's assistants, who admitted to helping him obtain and inject ketamine. Perry's acquaintance, who admitted to acting as a drug messenger and middleman. Perry was found unalived. His assistant found him on October 28th, 2023. The medical examiner ruled that the ketamine was a primary cause of death. The actor had been using the drug through his regular doctor in a legal but off-label treatment for depression that has become increasingly common. Yeah. Big tinfoil. That's a big tinfoil. Perry began seeking more ketamine than his doctor would give him. About a month before the actor's death, he found Placencia, who in turn allegedly asked Chavez to obtain the drug for him. I wonder how much this moron will pay. Placencia texted Chavez, according to court filings from prosecutors. Two met up the same day in Costa Mesa, halfway between Los Angeles and San Diego, and exchanged at least 4 vials of ketamine, the filing said. After selling drugs to Perry for $4,500, Placencia allegedly asked Chavez if he could keep supplying them so he could become Perry's go-to. While reading allegations in court Wednesday, prosecutors described a text exchange in Placencia in which Placencia asked Chavez if he approved of what they were doing. And Chavez said, depends on your tolerance for risk. Oh, Jesus, Louise. Yeah, but 33 200 gummies are regular. I guess that means something. I'm not sure. But yeah, if he was doing 4 times the amount that he was supposed to be doing, that's going to be rough. When Placencia asked him if he was interested in starting a ketamine clinic, Chavez said he might be on board so long as there was no shady stuff. U.S. Attorney Martin Estrada said in announcing the charges August 15, the doctors preyed on Perry's history of addiction in the final months of his life last year to provide him with ketamine in amounts they knew were dangerous. Perry struggled with addiction for years, dating back to his time on Friends when he became one of the biggest stars of his generation as Chandler Bing. He starred alongside Aniston, Cox, Kudrow, LeBlanc, and Schwimmer for 10 seasons from 1994 to 2004. NBC's mega hit sitcom, The Friends. Oh, crazy stuff, man. That's pretty damn damning. Pretty damn damning. Oh, so what we've got here is I'm gonna take a little break, go grab some coffee. Everybody go grab some coffee because I feel like I'm yawning and I shouldn't be yawning this time of morning. So go grab your coffee. See you in less than 2 minutes.
Sandy shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, oh man, Rambo is half crazy, yes he can. Well, that SOB's a sight to F and see. Oh, Rambo's rolling, and the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is, well, that is too dirty to say here. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is that is too dirty to say here, Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two
are having an effing blast. Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope everybody's got their coffee. Told you it would be a pretty darn short one here. Okay. So this is the next one we're going to be talking about, and be important. You guys pay close attention to what's happening here. Dock workers join other unions in trying to fend off automation or minimize impact. The massive port workers union strike that has shut down all the major dockyards on the eastern seaboard of the U.S. and Gulf Coast is highlighting a fear held by many workers. Eventually, they will be replaced by machines. The International Longshoremen's Association, I think there's a tinfoil hat right there, which represents the approximately 4,000 45,000 dock workers who walked off the job Tuesday is testing whether it's possible to fight back. Mhm. Yeah. The union is demanding, along with hefty pay raises, a 77% pay raise. So imagine they're making $100,000 a year. They could get a pay raise of $77,000. That means they would be making close to $200,000 a year. That's insane. That right there would make me want to automate shit a hell of a lot. That's for damn sure. Hey, Max. Howdy, Max. Good to see you. Max don't know much about things like ketamine. He said, but watch out for those Jolly Ranchers. Those things can be deadly. Fact. Very much a fact. Good to see you, Max. Just you get choked doing those things down. You never know. The union is demanding, along with hefty pay raises, total ban on the automation of gates, cranes, and container moving trucks in its ports. But it's unclear whether they'll be able to stave off a trend that has seeped into virtually every workspace using AI. The growth of automation and technological advances have created tension between the workers and management since the Industrial Revolution, when machines first began to manufacture goods that had previously been made by hand, like the cotton gin. Yeah, things that used to have to be done by hand. The growth of automation and technological advances have created workers since the Industrial Revolution to manufacture goods that have previously been made by hand, and with the growing use of AI, the group of jobs perceived as threat with disruption is ever widening. Okay. Got a little tinfoil hat. You cannot bet against the march of technology, said Yossi Sheffy, director of the MIT Center for Transportation and Logistics. You cannot ban automation because it will creep up in places. The history of pushback against automation. This is not the first time the port workers have resisted automation. In 1960, as ports on the West Coast introduced machinery to move cargo once moved by hand, the union representing longshoremen negotiated protection for workers, including assurances that current workforce would not be laid off, according to the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. Harry Bridges, who led the union at the time, negotiated pay increases and job security arrangements for some of the workers. And Adam Seth Litwin, associate professor of industrial labor relations at Cornell University. He said this was going to become potentially a real problem if they didn't try to get ahead of it, Litwin said. Essentially, what he was saying was, I recognize the reality of what's happening here, and the way to best represent my members is to make sure that they are protected. Yes, make sure your member is always protected, especially if you're having sex in the Congo and there might be monkeypox out and about. The downside was that port machinery became more common. By the way, we do not offer any sort of medical or chemical device here. This is not any sort of thing other than satire and political commentary. The size of the union eroded precipitously over the years. The coal industry went through similar reckoning as conveyor belts and other machines displaced laborers. Union leader John Lewis negotiated for job security and pay increases for existing workers, but the encroachment of machines led to fewer hires, and over time the workforce in union ranks, they shrunk. Just like your ween will if you have sex with someone with monkeypox. Again, this is no medical advice whatsoever. Amongst coal miners today, he isn't necessarily a big hero, but he knew that he was doing, and I think he also recognized that the fight in automation rarely makes a whole lot of economic sense, particularly if you're talking about a market that's all competitive. Some dockyards outside the U.S. are far more automated and efficient, especially ports in Dubai, Singapore, Rotterdam, Sheffy said. Mexico is building a highly automated port that could compete with U.S. ports. Oh my, oh my. Hey, Dan, you worked in the auto industries. Jobs that originally took 6 to 7 workers was cut to 2 to 3 with introduction of automation. Yes. Yes. And it is going to happen. It is going to happen. Also, if you want the way that I look at it is, if you really want to have job security, then do a really good job and move things along much faster. The problem is it becomes incumbent on certain dock workers to move very slow because they view it as job security. And this is something that you'll run into quite a bit with unions in the United States, unlike a lot of other countries, is if you get something done and you do it efficiently, it pisses off the other union members, because then that expectation becomes all the time. It's unlike the military. When you're in the military, they want you to move things along, get things done efficiently, unless it's paperwork. And then that just gets pushed around on your desk for hours and hours and hours on end. Mm-hmm. Yes. And Max Murray will tell you, Harbor Association in Japan has almost always been dominated by the organized crime Yakuza. The lack of innovation meant post-CIF costs for furniture, etc., were 3 times on the receipt. Yes, stand there with a shovel and not touch anything for 2 hours, then move 1 scoop. Yes. And it's not like that in every single industry, but if it's like this, and these workers are basically, they hire more workers to get the job done because they need to, keep things flowing, because this is how companies make money. So they start hiring a bunch of people. Guess what? Those people are basically working themselves out of obsolescence. And it sucks, because that's not what you want to have happen. But if you're having to hire 6 people to do a job that could be done by 2 using automation, then why wouldn't you go with automation? Or, alternatively, you can say, yeah, we're happy hiring 6 people to do the job, but they're going to have to work much faster. But it doesn't behoove them. And Mayor Dan is like really damn smart. He's good people. Show Mayor Dan some love. I can't wait for. I've got some stuff for you, brother. Got some stuff for you on the fun side of things. So Halloween is going to be coming up. Good Halloween. Still waiting for something to come in. Should have been here today, but we'll see if it's out there this morning whenever I go look. Amongst coal miners today, he isn't necessarily a big hero, but he knew what he was doing, and I think he also has a fight. They're going to start running trains from the port of the heartland of the United States, and who's going to lose? There'll be less work for these people. That's exactly what's going to happen. These people are going to. The dock workers are going to start getting upset because, look, we're not bringing in all of the avocados from China anymore. We're going to start growing those here in the United States. How to protect workers? Oh, there's ways unions and employers can protect workers. Sure, there is. You were an automation mechanic. See, we did hire more skilled labor. Exactly. That right there is people do, and I mean, I've talked with people that they've said, being in, that it really, they have people that get down their throat for moving too fast on getting things done. I mean, I've been, how can I put this? Because I'm not sure if I'm no, I think the NDA is over. I did some welding in a plant in Ohio, not Ohio, but Kentucky. I worked with a company that was shut down because they wanted to form a union. He paid all his employees better than union wages, and he charged as such whenever he would bill out jobs. And his thing was, I don't want to have a union here because I don't want anybody forcing me to how I'm going to run my business. The day that they formed a union, he shut down his company and sold it, locked the doors, put big chains on the doors, and set up a date where people can come pick up their stuff. We went into what was it, Commonwealth Aluminum, doing a bunch of welding on the annealing furnaces, which basically just heat up the metal after and burn off the oil that's in there. Did a lot of work on those. Worked on a couple of vats that they would melt the recycled aluminum down into large all those things like ingots, big large ingots. They also would manufacture a lot of your sheet metal and aluminum siding, that kind of stuff. So pretty cool place to go into. It's crazy as all. Nobody dressed up as John. No. When it comes to docks, some automation would be good because of safety. Absolutely it would be. Yeah, those poor doctor workers having to lift those containers from a ship to land on their shoulders. Yeah, that's not what it was all about. Yeah. So good to see everybody here. Yes, most lovely. Some unions have negotiated that employees must receive guaranteed employment protection if companies bring in technologies that could make their jobs obsolete. Others have bargained for employers. Now, so this has nothing to do. These are things they could do, but that's not what this was all about. And I'm just trying to think here. How does AI disrupt white collar jobs? I mean, think about this. There's a lot of people that like having that one-on-one personal interaction with other people. If you see the story times that we do on Sundays, with Sunday Spice, those first stories that we were doing were written by AI. Absolutely, like almost 100% with like fixing parts of it, like, but you still had to interact with it and make it work. Over the past few months, we've switched over to reading other people's books, and we have had so much more fun, much more entertaining than it was before. Like I said, AI, sure, you can knock out a story in a short period of time, but it becomes very, what's the best word? I can't really think of the word I want to use off. It just is not as enjoyable. But once you get in there with the human interaction, that's what people enjoy much more. And you'll see the older ones that we did. We got a lot of interaction and people were having fun. But it wasn't until we started doing the actual books that people became more interested in it. So that, as much as you like to say, "Ooh, AI is going to destroy everything," it's like it's a tool, no different than a hammer, a wrench. It's the same thing. Use it as a tool. Same way with automation. Use it as a tool. You're always going to need someone to fix the machines. Yes, at some point the machines will be able to fix the machines and build the machines, but probably my tinfoil hat doesn't go that far down my ears. According to Don Locke, the director of U.S. Government Accountability Office, but the growth of AI recently threatening high-skilled jobs as well. In the months after the launch of ChatGPT, generative AI tool that can compose essays, write computer code, and engage in conversations. Job postings for writers, coders, and artists plummeted. Oh my. Guarantee you that all comes back. Like I said, sure, we had write those things to start off with, but you know what? We bring up those books done by one of our favorite, TJ Finn, another favorite, Stephen Gosney, completely two different writers. And I don't know if it helped them out, but we sure as hell had fun reading their stuff, and I think it helped people understand a little bit more about them. Now we see law firms putting AI to use and cutting the number of junior associates, Jeffy said, but it's a problem. How do you become a senior associate arguing before the Supreme Court if you don't start as a junior associate? When companies embrace AI, it doesn't always result in workers losing jobs. In some cases, the productivity gains enabled by automation or AI make sense. Places become more profitable, enabling them to hire even more workers. That's usually what happens. Also, it becomes like a very stagnant job market. I will say, as a mechanic, sure, I can diagnose what's wrong with the car, and AI could probably do it much faster. But without seeing the results, what good is AI going to do? I mean, you've got to imagine this: you get a brand new 2019 Honda Odyssey, and AI is not going to notice that whenever you're checking the lights. Well, we're talking brand new. This thing has less than 400 miles on it. And you put it in reverse, the reverse lights don't come on. AI, for one, is not going to notice that, but a mechanic will. Mechanic will say, something's not right here. And after 3 days of diagnosing, which means that you had to test everything from the computer module all the way back to the taillights. Actually, we started at the taillights and worked our way forward, ripping out almost the entire interior of the vehicle looking for a break in a wire. Came to determine that we could not find the break in a wire, and we had to replace the entire wiring harness. AI wouldn't have been able to diagnose it in that amount of time, not without human interaction, because for each step you have to show your results on it. AI wouldn't have been able to do that. That is something that you have to have a skilled worker to be able to do. Then on top of that, you have to have a skilled worker to remove those nuts and bolts. Somebody that makes sure that the airbags don't explode. All that neat kind of jazz. Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into something like that. Just over a simple reverse lights don't come on. An entire interior of a brand new van had to be stripped apart, new wiring harness reinstalled, the headliner, the headliner on down. Yeah, every single thing had to be replaced on it. I've got a picture somewhere on here that shows me with that entire wiring harness wrapped around me. Like it was attacking me. Crazy stuff. AI is not going to be able to do that. You're still going to have skilled workers. But unions aren't taking any chances in September. Video game performers reached an agreement after striking with 80 games that provided protections around exploitative use of AI. Last year, Hollywood screenwriters concerned that scripts would soon be written by AI won protections against the use of AI after a 5-month strike. Well, this is why you don't trust the you don't handle then how about this? Screenwriters, novel idea. Screenwriters, really novel idea. Get better, write better shit, because your screenwriting sucks. Your woke screenwriting sucks. More and more people who thought they were immune from automation are probably looking to groups like Longshoremen and thinking, wait a second, actually, I may not be far removed from this. Or them. I'm sure that they will get over it eventually. Wonder how good AI is when there is no power. Absolutely. Well, and then there would be the argument you would never lose power if AI were controlling it. There is that argument. Oh my, oh my, oh my. It is crazy that people tend to forget these kinds of things. Did have something else that I wanted to talk about this morning. Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can find it. I like to search for things that are there somewhere. Somewhere. And I think it's here. Nope. And I want to be here with you. Is this it? Nope, not it. I think in here. Nope. Man, oh man, what was I reading yesterday? I read something yesterday that was like, this would make a great story. Oh, I remember. Oh my gosh. This. Oh, you guys like trials? This is going to be a fun trial. Oh my. Oh my. This is going to be this trial here. It's like Jeff's kiss. I want to see this trial. This would be the ultimate trial to see. Okay. Bear with me. Mom and son used the real estate business as a front for their pretty woman prostitution empire. Oh my God. Have you heard about this? Many of the escorts working for the mother-son team were registered as real estate agents and had valid real estate licenses. I joke not on that. Florida man and his mother jointly ran a sprawling prostitution ring for nearly quarter of a century, washing hundreds of thousands of dollars via various front companies and real estate purchases, according to police who nabbed the pair as they allegedly prepared to flee the country. Okay, that one I didn't know about. But that's one hell of a headline. Oh, yeah. Give it up. Based on intelligence gathered with Florida man and evidence obtained from records, there's reason to believe that Margareta von Lambert is using her Florida real estate license to facilitate the laundering of illicit proceeds for her son, Christopher Jelvik. States a probable cause affidavit attached to an arrest warrant filed in Broward County Circuit Court. Many of the escorts for the mother-son team were registered as real estate agents and had valid real estate licenses, the 103-page affidavit contends. Now you're starting to understand what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Oh, we got some good stuff for you tonight. Many of the escorts working for the mother-son team were registered as real estate agents and had valid real estate licenses. Jelvik, 48, and von Lambert, 70, were arrested on September 11th and the 12th, respectively, shortly after Jelvik bought plane tickets to Brazil in the middle of the night. The affidavit says both are detained on felony charges of money laundering and deriving support from the proceeds of prostitution. And if they come up with the bail money, 6-figure sums for each, the two will have to prove to a judge that the funds are not linked to any illicit activity. Reached by phone on Monday, von Lambert's husband, Joseph Fordyce, who is not facing criminal charges but is named in the affidavit, said he wasn't ready to talk about the case. Hard man. Gives a showing a whole new meaning, I'm telling you. Oh, that bring back to closing. Okay, I'll see myself out. Florida is touristy. We get a mixture of all crazies here. Hey, never know. I think it's premature to discuss anything, said Fordyce. It's what he told The Independent, and said, I don't want to comment. Mike Weiss, Wise, one of the two, who is not charged in the alleged crime ring but was involved with Jelvik in a construction business, also mentioned in the affidavit, was equally circumstanced, saying, I can't talk right now. Call me some other time. This is piss off, bitches. Jelvik does not have an attorney listed on court records and was unable to be reached for comment. Von Lambert's lawyer, Gary Ostrow, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Local ABC affiliate WLPG or PLG was first to report the case. The mother-son duo went into business in 2000 and have been targeted by investigators multiple times in the past, but have never been prosecuted until now, or prostituted until now, according to the affidavit. Their primary company, Pretty Women Escorts, offered Latin American and European women for $300 to $400 an hour, but David states. Good things come in tiny packages, reads one ad on Pretty Women's website. This tiny 5'2" Colombian is waiting for you. I am a Asian Latina. I take extreme pride in myself and my appearance, another says. I am impeccably groomed and dressed for any occasion. Do you have a desire for a woman who will mesmerize you, allure you, and invite you with her touch, charisma, charm, intelligence, and sensuality, says a third. I will make it my mission to ensure the time we spend together will make you forget about the outside world. An investigation launched in January found the business was hidden behind a front company, Oka Art Studios, according to the affidavit. A law enforcement review of Von Lambert's bank account showed large deposits from Boca, as well as money coming in from Social Security, the affidavit states. Checks written against the account showing various payments for vague purposes such as remodeling, loans and constructions, IPH school refund, travel expenses, and multiple checks for bathroom remodeling, according to the affidavit, which supports Von Lambert's husband as one of the regular recipients. Police managed to insert an undercover operative posing as a driver who got further information about the alleged goings-ons. The alleged goings-ons. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Von Lambert advertised herself as a real estate broker, an artist, and designer, showing works on her website with names such as Homage to Picasso. Jelvik purchased millions of dollars worth of real estate through Von Lambert, but employment records show an income of only $3,000. The affidavit states. What is noticeable when examining Margareta von Lambert's bank accounts is the lack of financial transaction of real estate activity for an account associated with real estate business, and a lack of financial transactions of an art studio activity for an account associated with an art studio business. In one surveillance operation conducted in February, a team of detectives from Broward County Sheriff Office trailed a Brazilian woman, being driven by her husband, from just saying, Brazilian woman being driven by her husband. Why are you, where was he driving? How was he driving her? I mean, just saying. But you guys are following. Okay, your kink, man. That's your thing. Do your thing. From Pretty Women to her next out-call appointment. According to the warrant, it says they pulled up to an upscale condominium complex in a golf course in Pompano Beach shortly before 9 p.m. And this Brazilian woman walked in there, entered a ground floor apartment while her husband kicked back in the car, counting the dollar bills. My woman, she is going to get nailed by another man while I count my money. One of the detectives got out and walked towards the back of the building where he was able to peekaboo through the curtainless windows, the affidavit states. He watched as the male subject began massaging the female's head, sniffing her hair. The affidavit continues. After a few minutes, he directed the female to the bedroom. After she took off her clothing, the male subject turned off the lights, and the female was observed having sexual intercourse with the male. Detective, stop the heavy breathing. Another officer on the scene spotted an exchange of cash between the buyer and escort. Affidavit alleges. At 4 a.m., trash pull at one of Peretti Women's Dispatch locations turned up a list of customers' names and contacts along with the services they booked. Ooh. Detectives staking out a spot also saw Javix lugging a heavy duffel bag they believe was loaded with cash, according to the affidavit, which accuses him of carrying out bulk currency transfers. Just saying. Agent, it's a FOIA. Slime ball. Why are you watching? Sorry, that one. I almost choked on. A separate trash pull found, amongst other things, a pregnancy test, an empty box of condoms, and numerous paper towels and feminine hygienes like Vagisil, which are not consistent with a business that portrays itself as selling art pieces. Hey, I use condom in all my art. How do you know? Come on. People use weird things whenever they create art. Who's to say? Who is to say that you can't use a douche for an art piece? I mean, for the love of God, there was a woman that painted art using the blood of a tampon. You tell me that's not art? So if you go to where people Google Owens County, Florida, court records, do a search in there, you can type Sarah Boone and get all the court docs related to Boone. One of the drivers shuttling escorts to their appointments was an 88-year-old man in late July. Come on, young lady, get your ass in the car. Don't make me whip you around. I've got a ball sack. It just might be dragging, but I still got you. I still got you. Get in that car. In late July, Jelvik expressed deep frustration to his mother and stressed to his mother about the ongoing business issues with his businesses, citing conversation overheard by a confidential informant during which Jelvik said he was experiencing, I feel so overwhelmed. That same night, Jelvik told one of his workers that I am very upset with escort in training who had accidentally sent a max test to all of Pretty Women's clients, according to the affidavit. The foul-up forced a complete shutdown of the business for a time. The affidavit does not say for how long, and Jelvik went on to complain about how stressed out he became after 25 years of this shite. Yeah, maybe the base is the paint base is Vagisil. No, we could probably hire a painter to find out if that would make a good base. Isn't it oil base or something like that? Once Pretty Woman was back up and running, a Broward County detective requested an escort who provided full service. The affidavit states, after recommending one particular sex worker, the Pretty Woman booker instead steered the detective to Seta, who said she would be better option for the services that the detective was requesting, according to the affidavit. Jelvik and Von Lambert did not know the communications were being monitored by authorities, who included several of their conversations in the affidavit. On August 23, 2024, Jelvik told his mom, I want to buy a home in Croatia. I have plans to move over, hide internationally. In Croatia, sounds like a place I want to go here. The beaches are beautiful, the women are more beautiful, and I can get away from these prostitutes and hookers, and I can retire a happy man. 2 weeks later, Jelvik spoke with a former Pretty Woman escort and told her, I am going to prison for money laundering, organized crime, and other serious offenses. The pressure is too much on my brain. According to the affidavit, which says Jelvik also said his mom was going to be locked up too, as she has helped with these illicit activities. She is the booking agent for all the puntang. Jelvik discusses further way going to prison and communicates his farewell to the former escort. The affidavit states that evening, Jelvik called another pretty woman associate and told him that the police had seized all my assets. I am going to go to prison. Jelvik advises that he was planning on quitting the business, selling the office, and moving on. Jelvik wanted to tell the associate his goodbyes and that he hopes he survives them. At the 3 a.m. on September 7th, Jelvik drove his white BMW 680 to Miami International Airport, where he bought plane tickets for himself and his wife to 2 different cities in Brazil. According to the affidavit, a few hours later, Jelvik's wife and mother joined him at the airport. Cops believe there were attempts to flee the state of Florida. It is unclear how authorities kept Jelvik and von Lambert off the flights, but Jelvik was arrested on September 11th and von Lambert on September 12th. According to booking records, they were found and ordered to return to their passports. The affidavit states Jelvik and von Lambert were scheduled to be arraigned on October 2nd. My, oh my. Assets. That is right. Quite the thing. Quite the thing. You get in there, you get the assets. It feels so much better on the booties. I knew you guys would enjoy that one. I mean, what's more fun than Florida man doing the deeds, doing the deeds that you shouldn't be doing? Shame on them and shame on them. Oh, ever so much down to the bottom of this right here. Now I've got something I need to download real quick. This is something that I need to download this and put it in a very particular place. It'll take me just a couple seconds. It is a document that really will be good for later. Later, I say. There is a wonderful place that I like to put these things whenever I download them. It's pretty crazy. I do have a few things this evening that I'm going to be covering, some pretty interesting stories. This is one of them that I'm going to be working on coming up. Know that next Tuesday, this will be after jury selection. The trial for Sarah Boone is due to be starting. Most likely I will be covering a good portion of that at the end of the day. My lovely wife will be out of town for a few days, which means that my time doing it is going to be very limited, because I usually whenever we sort of share duties with the pups, and so I'm more than likely won't be covering it top to bottom, because I'll be able to sort of nitpick a little bit, and my plan is to just cover some of the more intricate details of it, and see, so hopefully I'll be able to skip through quite a bit of it. And hopefully they get their damned audio fixed, because good God almighty, it is freaking ridiculous that they just have the crappiest audio ever in the history of doing these things. And then of course we have the Brigton or Brighton that's going to be coming up also about the same time, within a couple of weeks. This is going to be a little bit more in depth, as it gets closer. And we also have a few hours left in the there's like 3 cases that I'm covering right now. So my time right now is going to be focusing on going over the Sarah Boone documents. At some point I'll try to revisit these, but there's there has been some new filings in the What the Hell's case. Those you can probably catch quite a bit of those on like Megan Fox's channel. Tug covers those also quite a bit. But there's some more information on those that I do intend on getting to. And I'll probably bundle those up like in a good solid couple of hours. Hopefully I can do something like that, possibly on a weekend, Friday or a Saturday night, and try to get through those. So keep an eye out for those. Those will be coming up very, very soon. And when I start going into those, you're gonna see some rap in there. I'm currently going through and trying to redact stuff because I don't want to. I want to make sure that even though the court documents are redacted by that I have are redacted under particular rules that are set down by the federal courts, I still want to make sure that certain things or other things are redacted on there. Or I just will read from them and show tennis in the background or something. I don't know. That's one of those things where you just have to really pay close attention to the some of the stuff that's coming out. Like I said, I don't want to have too much. I don't want to release too much of that because that's going to be pretty insane. And damn, that went away. That was 2023. Oh, doggone it! Thought this was doing something else that it's not doing. That's where that is. Let's see, what else did I have going on? Yeah, there was just a few things like that are happening that I wanted to make sure taken care of. And like I said, tonight there's it's going to be a mismatch of stuff. Whenever you see that, you'll understand of what I've got going on, and hopefully, you guys are able to join me this evening with that. I'm hoping that I'm able to get all of the documents that I wanted to get. If I can get those, then we'll be doing good. And you have to get ready for the bank. Have a great day, everyone. You have a great day also. Are you gonna love the stupidity in those documents? Yes, I know. I've seen a good portion of them. I've sort of read through them. Yeah, because nobody would ever abuse the strike system here at YouTube. Yeah. You as well, Mayor Dan? No, people will abuse the strike systems as much as they possibly can. Yeah. It's good stuff. Good stuff. But there's like I said, everyone have a great day. You too, Mayor Dan. You have a great day also, and be safe. Like I said, I've got surprises for you coming up. Some very good surprises. Also, know that Thursday night tonight is my end of week because I start fresh on Monday. Oh my God. This is the most lovely woman in Tennessee. How you doing, Tish? Good to see you. Howdy, sister. She is awesome. She is absolutely awesome. Everyone, have a wonderful day. I will be dropping you off. Everyone, just know that you're going to have a good time. We're going to be sending you over to see Mo. She's currently running right now. And in the meantime, get ready for tonight. It's going to be a blast. And I will see all of you. Tonight, probably about 7:30, if everything works out right, or a little bit later, but we will see you then.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Early morning and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks
No
Larry.
way.
Shizzy broke Larry.